So you met your Japanese wife in where? In
UK.
In UK.
UK, yeah.
Tell me the story.
Yeah, I met her through friends. She was working for Pfizer with friends of mine, and his eyes across the crowded room, immediately fell in love. I'm like, yeah, and that was it, right? Sparks flew just in that first 30 seconds type thing.
Yeah.
And then I moved up to London to move in with her. An amazing story continued from there, right? And moved to Australia together, moved to Singapore together, and sadly that only lasted 6 months.
You ever told the story publicly, what happened?
Yeah, I have. I mean, it's funny enough, it's actually how I started the blog, because the counselling that I had post her death was don't bottle up your emotions and your feelings and your grief. You've got to get it out.
Yeah.
And at the time it was like, I'm not very good at talking, about this. So they said, do you write anything? Why don't you write a blog? So if you look at Is Life a Recipe 20 years ago, it was really maudling, and it was very short paragraphs all about, death and me wanting to kill myself and blah, blah, all this sort of stuff. So it's really just this pour of pain. And then it's evolved now into writing about food and restaurants and fun with the family and travel and that kind of thing. So it's kind of emerged and morphed. But yeah, we were here 6 months. She'd just given birth to Amy, who's 15 now. So Amy was 6 months old, not even that. And she passed away of a blood clot to the brain. So, it was then the decision of what the hell do you do? I'm
like
6 months
in a second?
Fuck. You could tell by her face that there was no pain. So it was instantaneous death, And that was that. Then it was the decision of, where the fuck do we go? Do we stay here? Do we go to Australia? Do we go back to England? Do we go to Japan? Do we go to the US with my sister-in-law? Fuck, what do we do? And I decided to stay here. And then I had to get a nanny to come in and help, because ultimately, 6 months down the road, I had to go to work.
Yeah.
And that's where this angel, this Filipino angel, came into my life, who's Mary, my wife. Now.
All right.
So, Mary came and joined us, basically dragged me out of alcoholism and suicidal considerations, and got the family back on the straight and narrow again. And then, 10 years ago, we had our child. Right? So that's where the five come from. So, that was that life. I mean, death in Singapore is one thing that I didn't kind of call out before, but you've asked the question now.
Yeah.
Wow. Dealing with that here is, as a foreigner.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck me.
I heard that divorce is super difficult, but I guess this is like...
No, death here. So there's no advice. Nobody advises you on what you need to do. There is no manual that walks you through, right? So she got taken away, and then, they go, oh, her body's at X. So, I arrived from South Korea. My father-in-law's in from Japan. We arrived about the same time. We go to this place. It's like an industrial park. All I can describe it as. There's some mechanical engineering shit and this and this and this. And then there's this funeral home. So you go there, the gates are locked. There's a massive dog there barking. This guy, rattling the door. This guy comes out, covered in tattoos, no shirt, very Singaporean, right? Comes out and I'm like, I'm here to see my wife, and you go into this almost like a double glazing sales place, and there she is, like laying on this slab in the cold refrigeration unit. Like, what? Really? And then you have to go through the process, choose a coffin and what clothes do you want her to wear when she's in the coffin, all this sort of stuff, right? And then it just gets worse and worse, So here, basically, you have an open coffin where people come and see them. Right? I didn't know that, right? So they go, okay, so she's going to get cremated today. So then I had to go to this place, another place, walk in there. There's no one about. Like, hello, and walk in this room, no air conditioning, boiling hot, Singaporean day, and there's open coffin, my wife laying there, massively deteriorating because she's in the open heat. Right? And it's just like, for fuck's sake, First thing you're doing is shutting the lid. Second thing, put the aircon on. And my father-in-law's there as well, breaking up, just in bits because of this shock of what the fuck. And then they put him in this. The only way I can describe it is like a carnival float, which is the hearse. It's not somber. It's this weird thing, plastic flowers, and it's like an ice cream van with a coffin in the back of it. Then you go up to wherever we were doing the cremation, and it becomes this kind of like party. You know, there's a handful of friends. Like my mother-in-law didn't want to come, my father-in-law, you know, so there's a handful of friends were there to just get through this experience. You know, we got some roses and we put the roses on them. And then there's this like auditorium with this like curtains, and they went, shh. And the guy's like, okay, so we're going to wheel her in a minute, and then put her there, and poof. Like, sorry, what? He goes, boom, we'll burn her there. Like, so what, you want me to fucking watch it? Really? And he went, yeah, you know, we'll put the show here for you to watch. I'm like, no. You know, just make it happen, and I'm going to come back when the ashes are ready to collect. I don't want 2 urns, so we got half of her here, and half of her is in London, buried. And I went back the next day with, again, a very close friend, and I'm like, oh, sorry, you were supposed to have 2 urns? And he went, oh, yeah, so he put another urn on top there like this, and then I kid you not, like an ice cream scoop, lifted the lid off, like this in front of me, you know, literally half of her from that in there on the countertop as I was standing there, you know, this far. It's like, I can't believe it. So part of, again, what I did in the blog and at work as well, I did a posting at work to say, seriously, if anybody has a death in Singapore, call. Yeah, give me a call, because it was wrong. It was wrong. But it's blasé here, you know. It was the most awful experience.
How long did it take you to get over it?
Oh, years. Years, yeah. You know, I mean, you still get smells and keywords and things like that for months and months and months and months. You know, and especially when you're seeing the kids grow up and they look like her and all that kind of stuff.